Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with another Proverbs Practical. I appreciate you watching. Today's proverb looks at the second in a series of observations about people doing wrong. We're in Proverbs 30, verse 12. It says, "There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness." So one of the problems with wicked people is that often they don't think or don't realize that they are wicked. Often the worst sins and behaviors are committed by people who think they're doing what is right. Think of the crucifixion of Jesus. The Sadducees thought they were doing what was right politically. The Pharisees thought they were doing what was right morally. The Pharisees especially prided themselves on their righteousness. They were absolutely convinced they were the good guys, and yet they were morally filthy. They wrongly condemned and put to death the only righteous person to ever walk the earth. And many others commit terrible atrocities or do awful sins, thinking the whole time that they're doing what's right. And history's pages are littered with movements and groups who did things that were terrible and had themselves convinced that they were righteous, that they were pure, because it was in their own eyes. Because they think they're clean, they don't think they need to be washed. They're like the kid who comes in from splashing in the mud puddle. "I took a bath outside, Mommy," and doesn't think he needs to be hosed off before walking across the white carpet. There's a couple of warnings for us here. One is the obvious danger of such people. They can passionately attack and destroy all in the name of what they think is right. But the other obvious danger is that we ourselves might be pridefully convinced that we are righteous, we're right, we're the good guys, and allow that to drive us to do things that are wrong. It might leave us closed to criticism, unwilling to change, because we don't think we're broken and thus we don't need to fix anything. We won't get right with God because we won't accept that we're wrong with God. We justify and rationalize and excuse, and so we never repent. Tragically, there's many who don't get saved because they don't realize they're lost. They're comparing their righteousness to other humans on some kind of human standard instead of to the righteousness of God. And they don't realize that being a good person relative to some other person they picked isn't good enough. There's many believers who never have the close walk with God that they could because they never let God define right and wrong in their lives, so they never confess some sin and never change in that area because they're pure in their own eyes. Just as the previous behavior not only interferes with people's walk with God, but also affects all of society, so this does too. When you get opposing people who are all convinced that they're right and none of whom will change, it's almost impossible for anything to be resolved. They start sliding down a slope of wickedness, convinced they're righteous, and so they cannot stop, and whole institutions, families, and nations are destroyed in the conflict. May we have a humility that recognizes we aren't pure on our own, and we need the cleansing of Jesus Christ. May we have a humility that acknowledges our fallibility and inclination to go off track and stays open to correction and cleansing. I hope this video is a help to you. If it is, hit that thumbs up button to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insights from the Scriptures. Until next time, I hope you stay well and go to God for cleansing.